The wind, a relentless tormentor, whipped across the parched earth of Havenwood, a town choked by dust and despair. Homes once vibrant were now skeletal remains, their paint peeled away like sunburned skin, revealing the raw, aching bones of poverty. The air itself tasted of grit and hopelessness, a bitter brew reflecting the lives of its inhabitants. Their faces, etched with hardship, bore witness to years of relentless drought, the Dust Bowl's cruel embrace stealing their crops, their livestock, their very hope. Havenwood was a graveyard of dreams, a testament to the unforgiving nature of the frontier. Families, once proud and self-sufficient, were now reduced to shadows of their former selves, clinging to the tattered edges of survival. Children, their eyes too old for their years, wandered the streets, their small bodies mirroring the town's emaciated frame. But it wasn't just the unforgiving land that held Havenwood captive, it was the moral bankruptcy that festered within its heart. The annual auction, a spectacle of desperation and exploitation, loomed like a dark omen. It wasn't just livestock and land that changed hands, it was people, their futures bartered away like cheap trinkets. This year, the whispers spoke of a young girl, her innocence a fragile commodity in the ruthless marketplace of Havenwood's despair. Her fate, a terrifying reflection of the town's collective surrender to its own grim destiny. The dust swirled, a mournful dance around the silent promise of tragedy. This wasn't just a town facing hardship, it was a soul bleeding out, its lifeblood stolen by the relentless wind and the even more merciless hearts of its own people. And amidst this desolation, one man, a widower consumed by grief, was about to find a path to redemption, a flicker of hope in the suffocating darkness. A path forged not in the dust, but in the defiant fire of a father's love. A love that would challenge the very core of Havenwood's decay, a love that would ultimately decide the fate of a young girl and perhaps the fate of the town itself. Elias, a man carved from the very landscape of his despair, walked the dusty streets of Havenwood like a ghost. His shoulders slumped, a burden heavier than any physical weight carried the crushing weight of his grief. The loss of his wife, a wound still raw and bleeding, had left a hollow ache in his soul, a void that echoed with the silence of a life stolen too soon. But it was the loss of his daughter, Sarah, that truly shattered him, a fracture that threatened to consume him entirely. She was the sun in his sky, the warmth in his heart, now extinguished, leaving behind only the chilling darkness of an unending night. He moved through the town, a phantom amongst the living, unseen, unheard. His days were a monotonous procession of chores, performed with the mechanical precision of a broken clock. Sleep offered no solace, only a restless dance with nightmares where Sarah's laughter was replaced by a silent scream. His once vibrant home was now a mausoleum, every corner whispering memories that only intensified his pain. The laughter of children, once a source of joy, now served as a cruel reminder of what he had lost, a constant stab to his already bleeding heart. He tried to find comfort in work, in the familiar rhythm of his hands, but the solace it once offered had vanished, leaving him adrift in a sea of sorrow. His friends, once close, now stood at a distance, unsure how to reach a man consumed by such profound grief. Their words of comfort felt hollow, their attempts at connection clumsy and ineffective. Elias had retreated into himself, building a wall of sorrow so high and thick that even the most persistent kindness could not penetrate it. He was a man adrift, a solitary ship lost in a storm-tossed sea, his sails ripped, his mast broken, his heart a shattered compass pointing nowhere. Yet, even in this abyss of despair, a flicker of hope remained, a stubborn ember refusing to be extinguished. A hope born from a father's unwavering love, a love that, even in the face of unimaginable loss, held the potential to ignite a flame of redemption, a beacon in the suffocating darkness of Havenwood. A redemption that would begin, not with the easing of his grief, but with a courageous act fueled by that very grief. The air crackled with a chilling tension as the auctioneer's gavel fell, silencing the hushed whispers of the crowd. Havenwood's annual disgrace had begun. The faces of the bidders, hardened by years of hardship and moral compromise, were devoid of empathy, their eyes gleaming with avarice as they assessed their potential purchases. These weren't cattle or land, they were young women, their futures reduced to commodities, their worth measured in the cold, hard currency of desperation. Fear clung to the air, thick and suffocating, a palpable presence in the eyes of the young women lined up on the makeshift stage. Their vulnerability was a stark contrast to the callous indifference of the men who eyed them like livestock. Among them stood Alara, a young woman with eyes that held a startling mixture of fear and quiet defiance. Her beauty was undeniable, but it was overshadowed by the terror etched on her face. Each glance from a potential buyer was a blow, a violation that chipped away at her already fragile spirit. Yet, amidst the fear, a spark of resilience flickered, a refusal to be extinguished. She stood tall, her spine a testament to her inner strength, her gaze unwavering despite the storm raging within her. Her silence spoke volumes, a silent protest against the inhumanity of the situation, a silent vow to survive. The auctioneer's voice, smooth and oily, cut through the tense silence, each word a hammer blow to the already wounded hearts of the young women. The bidding began, each increment a step closer to shattering their lives, to robbing them of their dignity, their hopes, their futures. The cold indifference of the bidders was a stark reminder of the depths of despair that had consumed Havenwood, a chilling testament to the moral bankruptcy that had taken root in the hearts of its people. But in the heart of Alara and in the silent observation of a grieving father, a spark of hope remained, a tiny flame against the encroaching darkness. A flame that promised a fight back against the encroaching darkness, a fight for redemption, a fight for the soul of Havenwood itself. From the shadows of the auction crowd, Elias watched. His gaze, usually distant and unfocused, was fixed on Alara, a young woman whose very presence seemed to pierce the suffocating despair of the event. It wasn't just her vulnerability that held his attention, it was a striking resemblance, a ghostly echo of someone lost, someone deeply loved. A wave of dizziness washed over him as the pieces began to fall into place. The curve of Alara's chin, the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she fought back tears, the delicate line of her jaw, they were all hauntingly familiar. A sharp pang of grief, raw and visceral, tore through him. It was Sarah, his lost daughter, reflected in the terrified eyes of a stranger. The resemblance was uncanny, a cruel trick of fate, a phantom limb of memory reaching out from the grave. Memories, long buried beneath layers of grief, surged to the surface. He saw Sarah's bright smile, heard her infectious laughter, felt the warmth of her small hand in his. The phantom pain of her absence intensified, a fresh wound opened by the unexpected apparition of her likeness. His heart clenched, a fist of sorrow squeezing the air from his lungs. The years of numbness, the carefully constructed walls of his grief, crumbled under the weight of this overwhelming recognition. The emptiness within him, a void he thought unfillable, suddenly felt less like a desolate wasteland and more like a parched earth, desperate for rain. The dormant embers of his love for Sarah, long smoldering beneath the ash of his sorrow, flared to life, ignited by the unexpected sight of her spectral twin. This unexpected encounter was not simply a visual echo, it was a visceral jolt, a reawakening, a call to action buried within the depths of his sorrow. A call that would lead him down a path he never anticipated, a path toward redemption, a path paved with the echoes of a daughter lost and a daughter found. The bidding for Alara escalated, each call a cruel hammer blow against her already fragile spirit. The auctioneer's voice, slick and devoid of emotion, fueled the frenzy, his words a grotesque soundtrack to the unfolding tragedy. The price climbed, each increment a measure of Alara's diminishing worth, a testament to the moral bankruptcy that had taken root in Havenwood. The men bidding, their faces grim and determined, saw not a young woman with a life to live, but a possession to be acquired, a piece of property to be owned. Their callous disregard for her humanity was chilling, their actions a stark reflection of the town's descent into moral decay. Alara's eyes, wide and filled with a desperate plea, darted around the room, searching for a sign of hope, a flicker of mercy in the sea of indifference. Her breaths came in short, shallow gasps, her body trembling with a mixture of fear and exhaustion. The weight of the situation pressed down on her, a crushing burden that threatened to suffocate her. She was a pawn in a game she hadn't chosen to play, her fate hanging precariously in the balance, determined by the whims of men who valued her less than the dust that swirled around their feet. The suspense tightened like a noose, each bid raising the stakes, pushing Alara closer to the brink. The silence between bids was punctuated only by the rhythmic thud of the auctioneer's gavel, a relentless percussion that underscored the grim reality of her situation. The price continued to rise, a testament to the depths of depravity that had settled over Havenwood. But even as darkness threatened to consume her, a small ember of defiance continued to glow within her, a refusal to surrender, a silent vow to fight for her own survival. A vow mirrored in the silent determination of a grieving father, a father ready to challenge the very fabric of Havenwood's depravity, a father ready to break the cycle of despair. A father ready to fight. A hush fell over the crowd. All eyes turned towards a solitary figure emerging from the shadows, Elias. He stood at the edge of the throng, a ghost materializing from the darkness, his presence as unexpected as a sunrise in a perpetual twilight. His face, etched with years of sorrow, held a strange mixture of determination and trepidation. He hadn't intended to interfere, hadn't planned this intervention. The decision had been born in the heat of the moment, a spontaneous combustion of grief, guilt, and a burgeoning sense of responsibility. His voice, raspy from disuse, cut through the stunned silence. A bid, low and hesitant at first, then gathering strength, a testament to the rising tide of his resolve. The auctioneer, momentarily speechless, blinked in disbelief, his carefully constructed facade of detached professionalism crumbling. The bidders, stunned into silence, stared at Elias with a mixture of shock and resentment, their expressions a blend of confusion and anger. Who was this man, this shadow from the periphery, daring to disrupt their callous game? Within Elias, a fierce internal battle raged. The weight of his own grief pressed down on him, a crushing burden that threatened to overwhelm him. The guilt gnawed at him, a relentless serpent coiling around his heart, whispering accusations of his past failures, his inability to protect his own daughter. Yet, alongside the grief and guilt, a new emotion stirred, a sense of responsibility, a desperate need to prevent another family from experiencing the same devastating loss he had endured. He saw Sarah in Alara's eyes, and in that moment, his own personal tragedy became a catalyst for an act of redemption, a chance to reclaim his shattered life, to transform his sorrow into a force for good. The shock of his sudden intervention was quickly overtaken by a dawning realization of what this act of defiance could mean for both Alara and for the town of Havenwood itself. The unexpected bid was a spark, igniting a wildfire of change. The finality of the auctioneer's gavel echoed through the stunned silence, a sound that marked not an end but a profound beginning. Elias had won. He had purchased Alara's freedom, a price paid not in gold but in a currency far more precious, defiance, compassion, and a willingness to confront the moral rot that had consumed Havenwood. The momentousness of his act hung heavy in the air, a tangible shift in the oppressive atmosphere. It was more than a simple transaction. It was a rebellion against the established order, a shattering of societal norms, a testament to the transformative power of a grieving father's love. A wave of murmurs rippled through the crowd, a mixture of disbelief, anger, and grudging admiration. Some whispered accusations, others muttered curses, but there was a palpable shift in the energy of the room. Elias's act, seemingly impulsive, had struck a chord, a deep resonance that challenged the hardened cynicism of Havenwood's inhabitants. It was a beacon in the darkness, a spark of hope in a town desperately in need of redemption. Alara, her eyes wide with a mixture of shock and awe, looked at Elias, her savior. The fear that had held her captive was slowly replaced by a tentative hope, a nascent trust. His act was not merely a rescue, it was a promise, a pledge to protect her, to guide her, to help her heal. For Elias, it was a turning point, a moment of profound personal transformation. The act of purchasing Alara's freedom was not just an act of charity, it was the first step on his own path to redemption, a path paved with the echoes of his past grief and the promise of a future filled with unexpected love and purpose. It was the dawn of a new era, not just for Alara, but for Elias and perhaps for Havenwood itself. The initial days were filled with an awkward silence, a palpable tension that hung between Elias and Alara like a shroud. Alara, understandably wary, kept her distance, her eyes reflecting a deep-seated mistrust. The trauma of the auction, the violation of her humanity, had left its mark, erecting invisible walls between them. She saw in Elias a savior, yes, but also a stranger, a man whose motives remained shrouded in mystery. His sudden act of kindness, while undeniably generous, felt alien, almost unsettling in its unexpectedness. Elias, burdened by his own grief and the weight of his past failures, struggled to bridge the emotional chasm that separated them. He yearned to offer comfort, to provide solace, but his attempts were often clumsy, his words stumbling over his own unspoken fears and insecurities. The resemblance between Alara and his deceased daughter, while a powerful motivator for his actions, also served as a painful reminder of his loss, creating an emotional distance that he found difficult to overcome. The silence between them was punctuated by stolen glances, hesitant gestures, and unspoken anxieties. The shared space felt heavy with unspoken words, unacknowledged emotions, and the lingering shadow of Alara's ordeal. Healing, Elias knew, would be a long and arduous process, a journey fraught with challenges and setbacks. Trust, once broken, would not be easily restored. He had rescued Alara from the clutches of Havenwood's depravity, but rescuing her spirit, her very essence, would prove a far more daunting task. The path ahead was uncertain, strewn with obstacles, yet fueled by a fragile hope, a shared desire for healing and a future where both their hearts could find solace and peace. The initial unease was a stark reminder of the journey that lay ahead. Slowly, tentatively, Elias began to chip away at the walls Alara had erected around her heart. It wasn't through grand gestures but through small, quiet acts of kindness, a warm blanket on a cold night, a steaming bowl of nourishing soup, a gentle hand on her shoulder when nightmares plagued her sleep. He offered her shelter, a safe haven in his humble home, a sanctuary away from the harsh realities of Havenwood. He didn't push, didn't demand, simply provided, allowing her to heal at her own pace. He listened patiently to her stories, her whispered fears, her unspoken anxieties, offering a silent empathy that transcended words. He shared stories of his own life, not dwelling on his grief but sharing memories of his late wife, painting a portrait of a life filled with love and laughter, a life that had been tragically cut short. He spoke of his daughter, Sarah, describing her vibrant spirit, her infectious laughter, and the immeasurable love he had felt for her. These stories, though tinged with sadness, were a testament to his capacity for love, a capacity that was slowly extending itself to Alara. The shared meals were simple, but they were moments of connection, of quiet understanding. He brought her wildflowers, their vibrant colors a stark contrast to the dusty landscape of their lives, a subtle reminder of the beauty that still existed in the world. He repaired her worn shoes, a small gesture that spoke volumes about his care and concern. These small acts of kindness, these quiet gestures of compassion, were the bricks and mortar that began to slowly build a bridge across the chasm of their initial unease. Slowly, painstakingly, Alara's defenses began to crumble, replaced by a tentative trust, a nascent hope for a future she had almost given up on. The acts of kindness were not just gestures of generosity, they were seeds of healing sown in the fertile ground of a broken heart. As the days turned into weeks, a fragile bond began to blossom between Elias and Alara. Shared silences were replaced by hesitant conversations, tentative smiles, and the quiet comfort of companionship. They would sit together on the porch at sunset, watching the fiery hues paint the sky, their shared silence filled with unspoken understanding. Alara, slowly shedding the weight of her trauma, began to share more of her past, her voice gaining strength with each passing day. Elias listened, his heart aching with empathy, his own grief finding solace in her vulnerability. He shared his memories of Sarah, not as a burden but as a testament to the enduring power of love, a love that transcended death and loss. He taught her how to mend clothes, how to bake bread, sharing the simple joys of everyday life, creating a sense of normalcy in her shattered world. They worked together in the garden, their hands brushing occasionally, a spark of connection igniting in the shared labor. He showed her his collection of old books, sharing stories and worlds beyond the confines of Havenwood. These shared moments, seemingly insignificant in themselves, were the building blocks of their burgeoning connection. They were acts of healing, a testament to the transformative power of human connection. Alara, finding solace in Elias's unwavering kindness, began to rediscover her own strength, her own resilience. She learned to trust again, to believe in the possibility of a future free from fear and despair. Elias, in turn, found redemption in his act of compassion, his grief slowly transforming into a love that nurtured and healed. The bond that grew between them was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in the desolate landscape of their lives. It was a budding connection, delicate yet powerful, promising a future richer and more meaningful than either could have imagined. Their newfound peace was shattered by the harsh reality of Havenwood's judgment. Whispers turned to shouts, and sidelong glances morphed into open stares of disapproval. Elias and Alara faced the town's scorn, their fragile bond tested by the weight of societal expectations and ingrained prejudices. The townsfolk, steeped in their own cynicism and moral decay, struggled to comprehend Elias's act of defiance, his unwavering commitment to Alara. They saw her as tainted, as damaged goods, and their judgment extended to Elias, branding him an outcast, a fool. The whispers followed them like shadows, clinging to their every step. Children pointed, adults gossiped, their words like stones thrown at their fragile sanctuary. But Elias stood firm, his resolve unwavering. He shielded Alara from the worst of it, his love a bulwark against the town's venom. He didn't flinch, didn't apologize, didn't back down. He faced their judgment head-on, his unwavering gaze a testament to his commitment. He defended Alara, not with words of anger, but with quiet dignity. He spoke of her strength, her resilience, her capacity for love. He challenged their assumptions, their prejudices, their ingrained cynicism. He reminded them of their own humanity, their shared responsibility to heal, to rebuild, to redeem themselves from the moral decay that had consumed them. His defiance was not a mere act of rebellion. It was a testament to his transformed heart, a beacon of hope shining through the darkness. It was a testament to the power of love to overcome even the most deeply entrenched prejudices and societal norms. In standing up for Alara, Elias was not just protecting her, he was reclaiming his own soul, forging a path toward true redemption. Rescuing Alara was not merely an act of charity, it was an act of self-redemption for Elias. It was a turning point, a pivotal moment that shattered the icy grip of his grief and opened the door to a new life, a life filled with purpose and meaning. His act of compassion was a balm to his own wounded soul, a pathway out of the darkness that had consumed him since the loss of his wife and daughter. He found solace in Alara's healing, a reflection of his own slow journey toward wholeness. The love he poured into Alara was not a replacement for his lost loved ones, but a testament to the enduring power of love itself. It was a love that transcended personal loss, a love that blossomed in the face of adversity, a love that nourished and healed both him and Alara. His compassion, once dormant, now flourished, extending beyond Alara to encompass the entire community, challenging the ingrained cynicism and moral decay of Havenwood. His transformation was gradual, subtle, yet undeniably profound. He learned to forgive himself, to let go of the guilt and self-reproach that had haunted him for so long. His empathy deepened, his understanding of human suffering expanding beyond his own personal experience. He discovered a strength he never knew he possessed, a resilience born from his own vulnerability and the shared journey of healing with Alara. His act of rescuing Alara was not merely a single event, it was the catalyst for a profound and lasting transformation, a journey of self-discovery that led him to a place of peace, purpose, and profound love. His redemption was not a destination but a continuous process, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome even the deepest wounds and find solace in unexpected places. The man who had once been consumed by grief was now a beacon of hope, a testament to the transformative power of love and compassion. Alara's journey of healing was as profound as Elias's. The trauma she had endured left deep scars, but in Elias's unwavering kindness she found a sanctuary, a place where she could begin to rebuild her life. His gentle patience, his quiet empathy, chipped away at the walls she had erected around her heart, allowing her to confront her pain, to acknowledge her vulnerability, and to begin the long process of healing. She learned to trust again, not just in Elias, but in herself. The self-confidence that had been shattered by her ordeal began to re-emerge, nurtured by Elias's unwavering belief in her strength and resilience. She discovered a hidden strength, a capacity for hope that had lain dormant beneath the weight of her trauma. The shared laughter, the quiet moments of connection, the simple acts of kindness, these were the threads that wove together the fabric of her healing. She found solace in the everyday rhythms of life, the tending of the garden, the baking of bread, the sharing of stories. These simple acts were not just mundane tasks, they were affirmations of her renewed life, a testament to her growing self-worth. She learned to forgive herself, to release the burden of guilt and self-blame that had weighed her down for so long. Her healing was not a linear progression, it was a journey filled with setbacks and breakthroughs, with moments of profound sadness and unexpected joy. But with each passing day, her resilience grew stronger, her hope brighter, her spirit more vibrant. Alara's transformation was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome adversity, to find hope in the darkest of times, and to build a life filled with purpose and meaning. Her journey was a reflection of the transformative power of love, compassion, and unwavering support. As the dust settled on Havenwood, a new beginning dawned for Elias and Alara. Their shared journey of healing had forged a bond stronger than any adversity they had faced. They built a life together not in grand gestures but in quiet moments of shared companionship, mutual support, and unwavering love. Their home, once a symbol of loss, became a haven of peace, a sanctuary where laughter mingled with quiet contemplation, where shared sorrows were eased by mutual understanding, and where hope bloomed in the fertile ground of their connection. Their relationship was not without its challenges. The scars of the past lingered, reminders of the hardships they had endured. But their love, forged in the crucible of adversity, proved stronger than any obstacle. They found solace in each other's presence, their shared experiences creating an unbreakable bond. They learned to navigate the complexities of their emotions, to embrace vulnerability, and to find strength in their shared journey. They were not merely a couple. They were partners in healing, co-creators of a life built on resilience, hope, and unwavering love. The unexpected beauty of their connection lay in its simplicity, in the quiet moments of shared intimacy, in the unspoken understanding that transcended words. It was a love that blossomed from the ashes of despair, a love that defied expectations and challenged societal norms. Their story was a testament to the transformative power of compassion, a beacon of hope in a world often consumed by darkness. It was a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, love can heal, hope can endure, and a new beginning can always be found. Their life together was a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the unexpected beauty of a love born from loss and nurtured by unwavering compassion. The story of Elias and Alara is not just a tale of individual redemption, it's a testament to the enduring power of human connection, a beacon of hope shining brightly amidst the harsh realities of hardship and cruelty. Their journey reminds us that even in the darkest of times, unexpected connections can blossom, transforming lives and challenging the very fabric of despair. The love they found, born from loss and nurtured by compassion, is a powerful reminder that the human spirit is resilient, capable of overcoming even the most profound adversity. Their story speaks to the transformative power of empathy, the ability to see beyond the surface and recognize the inherent worth in every individual, regardless of their circumstances. It reminds us that even in a town steeped in moral decay, hope can take root and flourish, challenging the ingrained cynicism and fostering a sense of community and shared purpose. The healing they experienced, both individually and collectively, is a testament to the power of forgiveness, the importance of second chances, and the enduring strength of the human heart. Their journey is a reminder that while hardship and cruelty may cast long shadows, the light of human connection can pierce through the darkness, illuminating a path toward healing, hope, and a brighter future. It is a testament to the enduring power of love, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the potential for good, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Their story serves as an inspiration, a reminder that even amidst despair, hope can endure, and that the most unexpected connections can lead to the most profound transformations. It is a hopeful message, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love.